Welcome back. So you came to ask me what is armor class, initiative, speed, health points or hit points, whatever you want to call them, and hit dice as well as saving throws. So let's start with the first thing you'll find on your player's handbook from the start. Speed. Each race has its own speed. With this speed you can move certain distance on the battlefield when it's a combat and normally when it's in between the combats and so on and so forth. Each race has a different speed at which it moves throughout the combat, on the battlefield, or outside of it. On Player's Handbook, all of the races, for few exceptions, have 30 feet speed. The exceptions in this case would be gnomes, dwarves, and halfling. Those are the smaller races which, can't move really as fast as the bigger ones. Here I have to say that on difficult terrain, you will move only half as far as on normal terrain. Also, if your DM is telling that you're gonna take in count how much you're carrying, then there is also some speed difference when you're carrying a lot of stuff, so take care of that as well. But generally for newer players and for most campaigns, you're probably not gonna care about that much anyways. Then moving on to current hit points. This information you can find on your class description starting on page 45. There you will also find information about hit die. The way that health point calculation works, or the way that you calculate your maximum health point, is rather simple. Each class has a fairly different way of calculating health, but generally it's all the same in the principle. You take a certain type of dice, then either roll it or take a little bit above average number and add your constitution no matter which choice you make. On first level though, you take maximum of that roll and add constitution. For example, my fighter here will use d10 to calculate its health. On first level though, I will have maximum of that d10. That would be 10 points, right? And I will add constitution to it. On next levels though, I will have to choose whether I roll my d10 plus constitution or take 6 plus constitution. And for another example, let's just say you chose rogue or cleric. Both of them have d8 for a hit die, so you will have to take 8 plus constitution in the first level, and later on you'll have to choose whether you roll d8 or take 5 plus constitution to both of them, of course. Here you have to know that in case your constitution modifier changes by leveling up or any other way, you will have to change your maximum hit points as well, using current constitution modifier as if you had it from beginning, that is from first level. Moving on to temporary hit points. Well, those basically are hit points just like your current hit points, only they go first when you take damage, and you cannot heal them, of course. Basically, you will get these temporary hit points from either spells or abilities. Now, moving on to hit die. Basic way hit die works is that it's your ability or your character's ability to heal himself or herself between combat or taking short rest. So basically you start with one hit die and each level you gain one more. So for example, after hardy combat your party decides to take a short break to, recuperate. So you can roll as many hit die as you have left. And of course you will regain all of the hit die after long rest as well as full health. So that's about how short and long rest works. Now moving on to death saves real quick. The way it works is fairly simple. As soon as your current hit points go below 1, that is, as soon as you die, as soon as your current hit points reach 0, on 3 failures your character dies. Unless there is a spell or ability that will bring you back to life. Still, on 3 successes though, you will return to life with 1 health. Now moving on to armor class. The way you calculate armor is fairly simple. If you're not wearing any, then it's 10 plus your dexterity modifier. But if you're wearing some kind of armor, you will have to look up its armor class on page 145. Mind you that some armor does allow you to add dex modifier up to 2 to your armor class, or it requires certain strength to actually wear it. All of this is described starting from page 144. And so as the last thing in this video, we'll talk a little bit about initiative. Basically, you can read about it on page 189, but essentially it's your dex modifier. The way you use it is quite simple. Your DM will at one point ask for initiative, and all of you will roll d20s and add your initiative bonus to it. With all those numbers, you will determine which goes first. So there, I hope I explained a couple of things that were unclear for you and so on and so forth. So go and check out other parts of this tutorial series.